Okay, so making scones is super easy. It's not hard at all. You can need a great big bowl. Get your largest bowl here, and we're gonna add the 2.5 cups of flour to our large bowl. We're also going to add our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna add our 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we're also going to add our sugar, which was 3 tablespoons of sugar. So we're going to mix all that together. I'm just going to use here a wooden spoon and just stir that together. Make sure it's very well combined. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get our butter. And I like to cut up my butter. You don't have to, but I think it's best. And we're gonna add our cold butter to this. What we're gonna do is we're going to use our fingers until the mixture looks fine and crumbly, okay? So we're gonna rub it in. We're gonna add that butter and we're gonna rub it in. Make sure your hands are clean, super important. And we're rubbing that butter in there. All right, so we're gonna continue doing this, and when we come back, we're gonna continue with our recipe, so stay tuned. I wanted to show you, my oven is ready. By the way, you have to preheat your oven at 400 degrees, so make sure you preheat it to 400 degrees. But I wanted to show you with the butter in here, remember how I sliced the butter up? And so what you're doing is you're kind of like pinching the dough. You're rubbing it in with your fingers until the mixture looks like fine crumbs. So you want to keep doing that, and I wanted to show you, so that's why it's so important that your hands are clean and you're just rubbing that butter in with the flour, and like I said, until it's like fine crumbs. All right, so I'm going to continue doing that, and when we come back we'll continue with our recipe. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to warm up milk. Now we just want to get it slightly warmed up. We don't want it hot. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla to it and 1 teaspoon of lemon. I add just a little bit over a teaspoon of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. All right, so let me warm up my milk, adding my lemon juice. And then I'm going to add my vanilla. And I'm going to turn off my heat because it's already warmed up. We just want it warm. We don't want it hot. We don't want it boiling or anything like that. You feel the temperature? Yeah, that's good. All right, so now let's continue. Next, I'm adding my pan with the sill pad on it just to warm up. I want these trays to be hot, so I'm putting those in the oven for right now. And I'm going to break my egg in here. This is going to be for the egg wash. And I'm just going to beat the egg with a fork just like this. And we're going to use the egg for an egg wash that's going to be on top of our scones. Okay. That looks good. Put that aside. Now, what we have, we're going to have to add our milk that has the vanilla and the lemon in our dry ingredients. Just adding that to our dry ingredients. We're going to be using a fork to kind of mix that. Now we're scattering some flour on this work surface. And my dough is pretty much mixed. I'm going to kind of combine it a little bit with my hands now. All right. Now we're gonna tip the dough over in there. And remember, our hands pans have some flour on it, and there's flour on the surface. And then we're not gonna overwork the dough. We want to turn it probably about 2 or 3 times. All right. Now what I'm gonna do, let's take a close-up of the dough. So here's my dough. And now what I wanna do is make a round, and I'm gonna make it approximately maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in thickness. Probably 2 inches in thickness, I think that's good. Patting it into a 2-inch thick, 2-inch thick round. All right. I'm using the palm of my hand. All right, I think that is good. And now I'm gonna take my silpat, my oven pans out of the oven. Okay, now what I wanna do is with my round, I'm going to just press, don't twist too much, and then you'll be able to get your scone. Look at that, looks awesome. And we're just gonna place it on our silpat. I think we'll be able to get around 8, hopefully. We'll see. We do want to make sure that they're not close together on the mat. Spread them apart some. Yep, this makes 8. We might be able to get an extra one if we put this together. Let's do that. I'm just gonna, you don't want to overwork the dough, but let's try putting it together. I think we can get some more, actually. Look at that. Don't overwork the dough. Pat with your palm of your hand, about 2 inches. And you definitely want to eat these the same day. And you can eat them warm. They taste really good warm. All right, I think I can get maybe 1 more out of this. 2 more. So we're making some English scones, and they're going to be so delicious. We're just going to love them. All right, I think that's good. So we got 2 more here. 1 over here. Now let's put 1 over there. All right, now I'm gonna add them to the oven. We have one last thing to do, which is we're brushing each scone with some egg wash. Remember that was that egg, and we just beat it up. Just beat it up with the fork in our bowl here, and we're making sure it has a nice glaze on top. And these are gonna be so pretty. And we're gonna bake these at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, these look great. Well, here they are. Oh my gosh, they look fantastic and they smell so good. All right, so now we gotta let them cool slightly. And the way you know you baked a good scone or a scone is you just break it apart with your fingers and it should come apart easily. When you serve scones at an English tea party or English tea, afternoon tea, you should never use a knife and cut into it. It should always be broken up with your fingers. And then you'll put some cream on one side. Well, actually you put cream and strawberry jam, and there is discussions whether you should put the cream on first or the strawberry jam on first. I personally like to put the strawberry jam on first and then the cream. But you put it on one side. You never put it together like a sandwich. So they should be just placed on top, on each side, and then take a bite. And it's so yummy. All right, so we're gonna let these cool, And we're gonna serve these at our English afternoon tea. So now, let's get making some delicious tea sandwiches. Stay tuned. So welcome back to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. Today we're gonna make some delicious English tea sandwiches. Now when you think of English tea sandwiches, what I want you to think of is dainty. I want them to be really small, they need to be dainty, they need to be light. Nothing should be too heavy. So we're gonna make 3 different types of sandwiches here. One being cucumber sandwich. It's very popular, it's very light. It's really a nice sandwich to have at English tea. Another thing too is we're going to make one with some cream cheese, and then the last one we're gonna have, it's sort of be like an egg salad sandwich, but once again we wanna make it dainty, we wanna make it light. All right, so we have 3 different types of bread here. This one's just regular white bread. The next one is honey wheat, and then this last one is a rye bread. Now the rye bread, the reason why I'm using the rye bread is because it's heavier and it's gonna hold, I think, my egg salad sandwich a lot better. So basically, what we're gonna use are cucumbers, dill, tomatoes, we have some celery stalks here, we have some chives, butter, cream cheese, lemon, arugula, eggs, and then we also have some Hellmann's mayonnaise and golden spicy brown mustard. We're also going to use a little bit of Hungarian paprika in our egg salad sandwich. So stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our first sandwich. And our first sandwich, we're using our plain white bread. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons of butter. Now this butter has been softened. It's been sitting out room temperature. You definitely want your butter room temperature. We're going to be adding a little bit of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, to the butter, just a little sprinkle. And then we're going to also, I cut up some dill here, and we're going to add dill to that. Now I'm telling you, the butter with the lemon and the dill goes so well together with the cucumber. And this is going to be a nice, dainty sandwich. When you think of English tea parties, I want you to think dainty, small sandwiches. And that's what we want to make. They need to be light. They should not be heavy where you get totally full. And that's why I love the cucumber one, because it's so light and it tastes really good. Perfect English tea sandwich. So I just mixed those 3 ingredients up. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my bread. We will be cutting off the crust. You definitely don't want the crust on an English tea party sandwich, afternoon tea. You want it to be, so you want it to look good. It needs to be light, dainty, and really good. All right, so I got both sides. Nice. And then I'm going to get my cucumbers, and I'm going to be placing them. Now these are the miniature cucumbers, mini cucumbers. I bought those instead of the regular ones because, once again, English tea party, you need to think small, light, dainty. So we definitely want just little tiny cucumbers. And you can see how pretty that looks. All right, then you're gonna close your sandwich. We're gonna take off the edges, the crust, I mean. Hopefully you're okay with a little waste. Excellent. And now we're going to, I think I can cut this into 3 pieces. Yeah, we're gonna make 3 rectangular pieces that look like that. Look at that, look how pretty that looks. Awesome, so I'm gonna put these on my plate over here. And since there's only gonna be 2 people at this English tea party, it's gonna be like, there's 3 pieces there, so 1 for each, and then there'll be 1 extra. So we can fight over that extra one. All right, let's start making our second sandwich. Now our second sandwich, we're gonna be using the whole wheat bread. This is actually honey wheat bread, and we're gonna be using the cream cheese. Now I'm gonna also use dill in this. Let me chop up my dill. And this is fresh, organic dill that I got at the store. You definitely want it to be fresh. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna add my dill to the cream cheese mixture. Get another spoon here. And I'm mixing that together. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of salt. Okay, now this one's gonna be cream cheese and tomatoes. So once again, the cream cheese is at room temperature. It's gonna be easy to spread. You want to do both sides. Or both sandwich breads. Nice layer of that delicious cream cheese. Yum. And what I'm gonna do, once again, don't go to the edges because we're gonna be cutting these, but on this one, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're going to be using a cookie cutter. Put a nice amount on here. Add my tomatoes. Now this one we need to do 2. Actually, this should be enough right here because of the heart. All right, so just like that, place this on top, and then we get our hard cookie cutter, and then we're just right in the middle. We're gonna make our heart. Now you don't want to twist it, you just want to pull the sandwich away, just like that. Cut off that little tomato there. Didn't catch that tomato. Sometimes you have to go with a knife. But then it makes this really pretty heart-shaped sandwich that looks like that. Hopefully you can see that. So that looks really, really pretty. We're gonna add that. So I'm gonna make another one real quick. So we're gonna make our egg salad sandwich next. And I have 3 hard-boiled eggs, so you wanna start out with that. And basically we're just kind of cutting these up very coarsely. I'm just doing that in my hand. Doesn't have to be cut any specific way. You want to make sure you have some of those larger chunks of egg because that's what's going to make it taste really good. But it does need to be dainty. Don't forget, dainty is the word of today. All right. Next, we're going to add mayonnaise. I'm doing 2 large heaping tablespoons. And we're also going to add probably around maybe a tablespoon of, or half a tablespoon of the Golden's mustard. I'm going to do a little salt and pepper. This is freshly ground black pepper. A little bit of salt. And then I need my celery. I'm gonna chop up my celery really quick. I have 3 little stalks of celery. This is probably gonna come to, I don't know, maybe around 1/4 of a cup. Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit more than 1/4 of a cup. Add that in there. And let's see, I want to mix that together really well. And then I want to add my Hungarian paprika. This is sweet paprika. The brand name is called Szeged. I always use this paprika. This is my favorite paprika to use. And I probably added maybe a teaspoon or so of that in there. All right. So that looks like that is mixed well. Now we're going to get our bread. Hopefully you can see how we're going to do this. Now the cookie cutter we're going to use for this is this little round one. All right, and so I'm going to add my egg salad only onto one side of the rye bread. And on this, I almost forgot, I am going to top it with a little arugula. Arugula is really good. It's kind of peppery, and I think it's going to go really well with our egg salad sandwich. So we're going to add that arugula there. Put this on top, and then we're going to use our cookie cutter. Little tiny sandwich. Look how cute. Our little tiny sandwich. I'm gonna put it right here. And you can get 2 sandwiches out of this. So that's good. Okay. See how cute that is? Oh my gosh, it looks so cute. Perfect. All right. So I think we have, these are 3 different types of tea sandwiches that we're going to have at our English tea party.